Hi, welcome beautiful Americans. How are you?
For a decade, I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into building a successful tech startup. But the moment my little sister, Sarah, the family favorite, graduated, my parents decided to hand my entire life's work over to her. They saw me as a relic. They saw her as the future. They thought they could simply take my company. They were wrong. I didn't fight them for control. I took the most valuable parts of the company, cloned it into a new entity, and left them with nothing but the empty office furniture. If you've ever been betrayed, underestimated, and seen your hard work handed to someone undeserving, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for a story about how the quiet confidence of a founder became the most devastating weapon against his own family. My name is Emma, and a decade ago I was living the startup dream. I founded a small tech company from scratch. Every late night, every penny of savings, every stress headache. It was all worth it because slowly but surely, my company grew into a genuinely successful enterprise. It was my baby, my proof of concept, and my life. For years, things were great. I had my success and they had their favorite. My younger sister, Sarah, was the family darling. My parents always favored her, showering her with praise, especially when she went off to a prestigious business school. I grew up used to the slight. I was the practical one. She was the golden child. When Sarah graduated, the pressure started. My parents, bursting with pride and a belief in her business acumen, started pushing hard for her to join my company. They were convinced her Ivy League diploma was the magic key to new heights. I genuinely tried. First, I welcomed her. It was nice having a relative around, and I admired her enthusiasm. She had a certain charm, and she wasn't completely devoid of ideas. But that charm masked a dangerous ambition. Sarah was convinced she knew better than the person who built the company. She began making major operational decisions without consulting me. My initial annoyance quickly curdled into genuine concern. She was manipulative too. Her charm was intoxicating. Before I could even recognize what was happening, Sarah had systematically won over the key members of my engineering and sales teams. I'd walk into meetings and realize I was being subtly sidelined. The company I built was slowly becoming Sarah's company, and I was just the founder who happened to be standing in the way. The internal monologue became a constant low burn of anxiety. This is wrong. Built this. Why are they listening to her? I started to feel that old familiar sting of familial disrespect, but now it was compounded by the fear of losing everything. The final blow was delivered not in a boardroom, but during a cozy family dinner, a setting that twisted the knife of betrayal. Midway through dessert, my parents cleared their throats. They announced, with an air of absolute certainty and pride directed solely at Sarah, their plan. They were transitioning the company leadership to her. My stomach dropped. The room spun. I felt a surge of adrenaline mixed with pure, sickening disbelief. It wasn't an offer. It was a declaration. She's better suited to lead it into the future, my father proclaimed. My mother simply nodded, beaming at Sarah. The message was clear. They believed the golden child deserved the success the practical child had built. I tried to reason with them. My voice was tight and shaky. This is my company. My money built this. My work made it successful. They were cold, dismissive, and utterly convinced of their own wisdom. They told me to step aside and let Sarah realize the company's true potential. At that moment, the hurt evaporated, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I looked at their smug, self-satisfied faces. My sister, glowing with premature triumph, and my parents, basking in their own self-congratulation. I realized I wasn't just dealing with family. I was dealing with corporate raiders using blood ties as a weapon. I decided right then. I would not fight them for the shell of the company. I would take the soul. My plan was simple. Clone the company, then walk away, leaving them with the empty shell. I knew the company inside and out, the contracts, the code, and the vulnerabilities. My parents and Sarah were so preoccupied with celebrating their impending takeover, they never noticed the founder quietly dismantling the structure beneath them. The new entity. I discreetly incorporated a new holding company. The name was generic, the paperwork clean. the assets. Over several weeks, I systematically began transferring the most valuable recurring revenue contracts. These clients trusted me and my work, not Sarah's pedigree. It was surprisingly easy because I was still the founder and had built the relationships. The talent, the most crucial move. I reached out to the few key developers and engineers, the top talent, who had quietly resented Sarah's arrogant interference. I offered them equity, better pay, and a return to a culture of meritocracy. They all jumped ship immediately. I worked in total silence, the thrill of the meticulous planning overriding the pain of betrayal. I was the surgeon preparing to remove the vital organs of the body I created. The moment finally arrived. Sarah was busy planning a management restructuring meeting. Her grand entrance. I called a meeting with Sarah and my parents. I walked into the room, my heart pounding a furious rhythm, but my expression was perfectly neutral. I laid my resignation on the table. They were stunned. My mother stammered, "You're resigning? You're finally seeing reason," smiled. It wasn't a warm smile. It was the chilling, victorious smile of a man who held all the cards. "I'm not resigning because I'm stepping aside," I told them, my voice cutting through the sudden tension. "I'm resigning because I've started a new company." The air went thick. Sarah laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound. "A new company? Good luck. We have all the contracts." I leaned forward. "I have the best contracts. I have the core team. I have the entire technical infrastructure. You have the office furniture, the debt, and the old letterhead." I detailed the move contract by contract, talent by talent. Their faces went from stunned disbelief to absolute, shrieking fury. My father started yelling, but there was nothing he could do. I had acted entirely within my rights as the founder and primary contract holder. The groundwork was laid perfectly. I stood up and walked out of the office I had founded, leaving the golden child and the betraying parents to pick through the wreckage of the empty shell they had schemed to steal. My new company flourished. We were lean, agile, and free of the dead weight of bad management and toxic family politics. As for my old company, without its core team and key clients, it struggled, limped along for a while, and eventually became a ghost. Their betrayal hadn't just backfired. It had spectacularly destroyed the very asset they were trying to steal. The greatest revenge is simply building something so valuable they realize too late what they lost. I learned that betrayal hurts most when it comes from family, but it also gives you the clearest picture of your value. They taught me one crucial lesson. Never let anyone, especially family, underestimate your ability to walk away and rebuild.